Good afternoon and welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have a phenomenal individual that I think has been spreading the love throughout Tacoma as we are all dealing with the effects of COVID-19. I'm talking about Duke Paulson. He is the Executive Director of Tacoma Rescue Mission. Hello there, Mr. Duke.
Well, hello, Amanda. It's good to be with you, even remotely.
Yes, and boy, do you have some very intelligent books behind you.
This is our library. This is where we have people come in who are pursuing education and employment counseling, and we have some great opportunities for people here for that.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking time out of your crucial schedule right now. I see you everywhere, Duke. I see you on the Tacoma News Tribune. I see you all over social media. I see you on major network news. And I want folks, before they hear why you are everywhere right now, I want folks to understand the Tacoma Rescue Mission's mission under normal circumstances.
Our mission under normal circumstances is to provide God's help, hope, and healing for the most impoverished people in our community. And practically the way we do that is we provide food and shelter for people that are experiencing homelessness. And then we use that as a way to turn it into a conversation with those people. What can we do to help remove the barriers that are causing you to be homeless? And so we have places like this, education center, we have computer labs, we have staff that come alongside and say, how can we help people? But our core is providing food and shelter for people, just to give them a safe place to get food and a place to stay.
So well said, and you are so humble and modest as the rest of your team is. So let's contrast that to what is the mission today under these shelter-in-place directive from Governor Inslee.
Yeah, we are people's shelter, and so talking to the governor and the county executive, it scared me when the governor said, hey, you have to go down to only 50 people and you have to create social distancing. And I thought we were going to have to turn out from our shelters at the rescue mission and our family shelter and our men's shelter, et cetera, that we would, be turning away 300 people that night. And it was scary and it was difficult. And to have the decision, okay, the politicians have put us into that. You are an essential service. Basically, people that are coming to us don't have another place to go. They don't have a shelter at home or a safe place to be other than coming to us. And we've seen an increase of about 30% of people coming to us as shelters in Puyallup and other areas have had to shut down or limit services. And so we have actually just been busier than ever, and are really working hard to provide a safe, secure place for people to be.
Let's talk about some of those great services that you offer and then how they've been impacted by COVID-19.
The services that we're offering, one was just providing a safe place for people to sleep. And that was a challenge because we didn't have good social distancing. And when people are sleeping in the same big area or common space, that's when you can spread the most infection because you're together the longest. And so we worked hard to create a partnership, to find a partner, talked to a lot of people in the community, ended up creating a partnership with Bellarmine High School, where they're allowing us to use their big gym facility and basketball court to spread out people so that they have 6 to 10 feet between them. And between what's going on at Bellarmine and what we have here, we've been able to provide safe space so people can come and safely sleep and be cared for here every night. That's really been appreciated by our guests, who have felt so valued because they knew they didn't have another place to go, and they're reading and seeing all the same media that we're seeing. They're aware the day that the president announced, hey, 1 million new masks are being released from the military, they came in that night saying, where are the masks? I want a mask because the guy next to me is coughing and I'm scared. and I had to say, we don't have any masks yet, and we may not for a while. So they're aware, and we've had like trainings where we sit there with groups of people in large rooms and talk about how to cough and how to sneeze and how to sanitize and be careful. And they're all doing it, and everyone's careful, trying to help each other out.
I have to say that when the call went out, when you put the call out on social media, looking for a room big enough, I was so impressed. At least I saw on my Facebook page the number of people that I tagged that got in there right away. Yep. And said, I don't think I can, but let me ask this person. Yep. It was beautiful to see this community come together and try to find a space that had showers, because you put out the call. So I'm going to say, good on you, Mr. Duke. I always, as Mr. Rogers says, look for your helpers.
Yep. We were, and I'll say this, there's probably 20 or 30 partners that were interested in helping us. For staffing reasons, I couldn't do, 10 people here, 10 people here, 10 people here, because we just couldn't, there wasn't a good way to man and manage that. And with limited resources, limited staff, I was looking for something pretty significant and large. But there's a whole lot of people in the community that said, oh, we've got this space, or our church has 10 rooms or space for 10 people we could spread out. And so for me, it was really heartwarming to realize how many people were engaged in helping with that. And ultimately how quickly it came together once we did find a big location. And Bellarmine said, yes, come on in and let's work with you. If it hadn't been for the weekend slowing things down, we'd have had something done within probably 48 hours, which was amazing.
You must have been jumping up and down with your team when you got that phone call that, yes, these people now have a place to rest their heads. We see across the nation, I was just looking at a parking lot in Arizona that has the 6-inch bed thing taped out where people can sleep. And I thought, we're on that here. Tacoma Rescue Mission is on that with their great partners. Yeah. Let's talk about how this has impacted volunteers first, and then also donations.
Yeah. So volunteers, we've asked any volunteers that are elderly or have underlying health issues to not come and volunteer, because we want to make sure we're doing the best to keep people safe. But we have stayed open for volunteers because we leverage so much, and we've had such a rich history of work in the community. We have 20 plus volunteers coming a day traditionally at the rescue mission, helping out with different areas. And suddenly that, you just saw that in a week drop. So it went to, now we have 1 to 2 volunteers a day that are coming in. And I love those volunteers. And now what I'm starting to see is a few more. So today we've had, 2 or 3 or 4 people, but those people help us prep and cut food and package things and organize donations and put stuff together and fold clothes and get things out to people and wash stuff. And there's so many areas that we have volunteers engaged in helping us serve, that when we had this huge drop, it has really affected, we've actually just basically paid a lot more staff overtime the last couple of weeks, because we don't want to let down in our services. And I appreciate and respect and love, we've had so many volunteers say, when this calms down, I'll be back. But it's hard and it's scary, and I get it. So we've done our best to create social distancing for volunteers who do want to come in and continue to serve, but we're down 90+% probably in our volunteer volume right now.
Yeah, and what I hear you saying is, if you are somebody who can volunteer, doesn't have any underlying conditions, that you have the safe protocols in place to let that happen. And I want to add, in terms of some of the most difficult spiritual times I've ever had in my life, the best thing I could ever do was to volunteer and get outside myself. And it gives me that perspective. And not that you or I are advocating breaking the governor's directive. But if you are somebody that can volunteer, you guys are ready for them on a safe basis. I got email this morning from Tacoma Rescue Mission, and of course it had your name pinned below it. And it was a wonderful email talking about what the rescue mission needs right now in terms of donations and money. So first, let's talk about what kind of maybe clothing donations you could use right now.
Yeah, we have seen a surge, like I said, about 30% of increase in meals and people coming seeking help just in the last couple of weeks. And we anticipate that going on for quite a while. We also had a drop off, and as people haven't been dropping off clothing and other things that are generally donated to the rescue mission as much. And we totally get that and understand it. We are still open and receiving donations. Men's clothing is always a huge need. Basic needs that people look for: socks, underwear, jackets, shoes, feminine hygiene products, bath products, towels, all those kind of things, sheets for our beds and stuff, the things that are going on. Those are things that just become our lifeblood, because we give so much away. We help people with so much. We partner with other clothing banks and places in the community and getting that out. So that's a huge need that we have.
All right. Well, there we go. So for those of us that are home and have maybe a little extra time on our hands, start going through that gently loved and gently used clothing and pack it up, and let's get into the rescue mission, because people need socks and underwear, like you just said. Let's talk about financially donating to the rescue mission. Right now, I think for me, I'm looking around my community and thinking, who can I impact? And when I heard the word shelter in place, it made my heart hurt, because there are people who don't have a shelter. And my first thought was, what can I do for the Tacoma Rescue Mission? So what do you need from us in terms of donations, financial donations?
We're one of the organizations that we only have one fundraiser a year. And Amanda, because you're going to be coming to it, we had to cancel it because things were shut down. And we budget money on that, or budget normally a revenue stream coming from that. So we've had to go without this spring so far. So, and with the increase in services and the increase in cost of food, cost of getting to go boxes and containers, cost of storage of stuff, there's been an increase in our use of funds. I have a great organization, great board, and great community around us, and so we did send out that email just letting people know there are a lot of needs going on in the community. And I know people that are laid off. I know businesses that have shut down. So we're trying to be sensitive to that, but also just share with people that if people do want to give and support, here's what we're using it for. We are still doing outreach to people in the community. We're still doing giving out clothes. We're giving out more meals than ever. We're supporting people and spreading out and getting our space. And we're renting buses and having cleaning crews come in every day and clean everything to the COVID-19 sanitation level. And so there's challenges that we face. And if people do feel like that's something that they would like to support, we could use that support now.
I love that. So well said. So when you look at those who you are serving right now, those who do not have homes, those who are struggling with food, what is the one thing that they need from us right now? If we see them on the streets, I know we have social distancing, but I'm a big proponent of looking at them and saying, I see you, and how are you?
Yep. Honestly, just saying hi. Everyone is missing that a little bit right now. Are you okay? And, if people need help, refer them to us. We are working so hard to continue to spread help and support for people. And we've had an increase in people coming to us. The fun part, one of the silver linings of this is we've had a number of people come and say, I'm scared. I need help. I'd like to go back and be with my family. And they're in Boise, Idaho. And so we've purchased plane tickets and flown people back to be with home, to be in a safe place, to have people that are elderly reunited with family and sheltering in space there because that's safer and more comfortable and better for them. So those are the things that we're seeing where here's how we can help, even when there's so much stuff shut down around us.
Absolutely. Duke, every time I talk with you, my heart is just on overflow because of what you do in the community. I know this has been very, very hard. I see you, as my grandmother would say, I see you, Duke. And I know that you're up at nighttime pacing the floor, thinking about solutions. So I just want to say thank you so much for you and for your team, for your family that also sees you pacing the floor, thinking, how am I going to find beds for our most vulnerable? So thank you so much. Please keep in touch with us. Let us know what you need. And let's get that fundraiser up and going again because you have an MC who wants to be there and spread the good news.
Thank you, Amanda. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm blessed. Thank you for thinking of me to just have a chance to share what's going on. This is a great community. I love it. I've been here for most of my life, and it is a blessing to be a part of the fabric of it.
Absolutely. Duke, thank you so much. Stay safe. Stay well.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. We have much more to come on CityLine. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.